Greetings, this is Pamela, aka Poetess, Cultural Transformation Catalyst, Educator, and Poet. I will be your guide during the Womenist Empowerment Series as I continue to pilot the new era of feminine empowerment through poetry and talk. This talk speaks to the absence of authentic feminine leadership models that are available to young mothers who help their children to grow and develop. Do you want to be empowered both socially and professionally? Help your children to find a source of power within themselves? Then follow this series. And you can also log onto my blog at womenistempowermentseries.com and be a part of this mother-daughter movement to usher in a new era of feminine empowerment. My writings reflect the female model for the world, the external forces that try to control her, and the internal forces that drive her to self-actualize. The conflict is going to be played out in the virtual world. This force that drives her is knowledge and power. The power to name one's own reality and self-determination, the power to name one's own destiny. Words express my deepest sentiments and how my role as a woman, a mother, a daughter, a leader exceed the expectations that have been prearranged for me. I refuse to be molded by persons and forces around me, so inside I ran. I want you to experience my personal liberation and encourage you to journal and blog during the next 30-day virtual retreat that begins in April. You can discover your feminine essence and your leadership style and educate your children on how they too can live an empowered life. The aim of this series is to empower 1 million feminine leaders who want to guide their children in the 21st century and build a sustainable culture of feminine empowerment. During the 30 days, you will discover your feminine essence and experience a renaissance in your feminine leadership style. You are the new generation of womenist leaders who are going to break the code of silence and who also express their power through the feminine form. I want you to make peace with your softness and your vulnerability and stop living with a guarded heart. During the 30 days, you will connect with your feminine essence, that which makes you a woman. Your personal power and magnetism will grow as you reconnect with your authentic source of power that is within. Womenist leaders, they share their knowledge, they seek understanding, and they transform their situation into something of value. If you want to discover a source of feminine energy, acknowledge the feminine aspect of life, and reclaim your rightful place in society, then this series is for you. This is day 15 as we continue to chronicle the rise of the new human community. And today's talk on this 30-day journey, we're at the halfway mark of day 15, and we have begun to look outside of ourselves and begin to look at the collective society. And so today's talk deals with the ancient unconscious. And what I mean by that is that we are all a part of the world. We also know that we're just see the tip of the iceberg. But there is much more submerged underneath the water. And this is the collective unconscious that we are all a part of. One day, I was driving in St. Petersburg, Florida, with my 3 granddaughters. There was the oldest granddaughter. She sat up front with me, and my 2 younger granddaughters were seatbelted in the back. And so we were going over the Skyway Bridge, which is in St. Petersburg, Florida. I got to the foot of the bridge and I could go no further. Fear gripped me. I gripped the steering wheel and I started to shake. The lanes felt like they were going to close in. I had to pull over to the side of the road. I pulled over to the side of the road and I put my car in park, and it was still running. My granddaughter there, she was trying to reassure me I would not move. And so I sat there for a while, and finally a state trooper came over and he asked if I was okay. And I explained my situation to him, that I was terrified, I was gripped with this fear, and I could not go any further. He encouraged me warmly and genuinely and assisted me and told me that he would actually lead me over the bridge. So consequently, I began to creep forward slowly, and following this state trooper over the board until I got to the tip of the Skyway Bridge. I felt so utterly ridiculous. This was so easy. I never went over 60 miles per hour, and I felt pretty safe. But one of the things I want to really now begin to just look at, in 1980, the Skyway Bridge, actually this was the second model. There was one bridge that actually collapsed. And it collapsed with drivers on the bridge. And consequently, there were drivers that were killed, and they ran off the bridge. And just the other day, that really began to play on my mind, because I never had any fear. There was anything that really happened to me that caused me to fear the heights or to fear driving across that Skyway Bridge. So consequently, this collective consciousness, when all those people were on that bridge, there was a fear, there was dread, people were dying, people were killed, and all of that energy was there. And so I feel that, because I do believe I am a sensitive person, that I sense things at such a deep level that somehow or another I sense that I was in danger, and my grandchildren's lives were in danger of going over that bridge and fearing that it would collapse. You can take that as it is, but that's my experience. And so thank you very much for tuning in on this day 15 as I continue to chronicle the rise of the new human community through this mindfulness training, is beginning to look at all my experiences and looking at all the response in my body and being able to take care of all those fears and really put a label on those fears and really address where those fears really come from. You have a great day.